The part of Mr. Magazine tonight will be played by Random Neighborhood Kid. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Nice. You played that right. I want to welcome everybody in. It's a very special episode today. Mr. Magazine cannot make it today, so we got to stand in a replacement, a younger, better-looking version of Mr. Magazine here, Random Neighborhood Kid. So we decided we would take this opportunity today to talk to Generation Z, which is what his generation here is called. And we did a Bolo video before that I'm going to talk about a little bit as well. And it was kind of enlightening to me, just a lot of the things that my generation, I'm Generation X, and the boomers that we take for common that Generation Z has no idea at all about. But we're going to get started in our usual way. Why don't you greet everybody, Random Neighborhood Kid?
Hello, Lori. Hello, Jeff. Hello, Michael. Hello, Pudding's Postcards.
Hey, everyone. My sales are putrid.
Bookman and Purple Sorko.
Oh, putrid this month. Down over 40% year on year, barely beating August sales. Oh, well, we'll start it off that way. Mr. Magazine is not here today. He is at a trade show, the barter show, IMS. I think he traded a Bubby Brister autographed football for a bag of potatoes. I think he did pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, wow. Good.
Pretty good there. So he wasn't able to make it. He's not been complaining about sales, though, so I take that as a positive. Sales on my end are down. Today was a very, very bad day. I think I sold 3 items all day, something or other like that, which is not very good. I didn't sell anything on Amazon either. So I want to know how everybody else's sales out there are as well. They were okay over the weekend. Cannot argue with that, but they were down today. I think it's probably the hangover from the election, honestly. I think people are watching the returns on the election. They're watching all that kind of stuff, wanting to see what happened, what transpired. And that's all we heard about for the last 3 to 4 months was all about that. So I think kind of the hangover from that. A few other people came in, Random Neighborhood Kid.
Welcome to the show, Feral Girl Vintage and Jay Goodnow.
Oh, there you go. Good enough.
Good enough. Oh,
good enough. You got it? So you got it? Do you get it?
Yeah,
See what he did there?
No, I thought it was his last name.
There you go. See what he did there?
John Jones, how's it going?
Sales are, whoa, malodorous. Whoa. I'm the one who throws out obscure words here. Jeez Louise. Yeah, so sales, now I do blame it on the election. There's storms and there's daylight savings time. Why don't we blame it on that? We blame everything else on daylight savings time. I solved that a while ago, Random Neighborhood Kid. I suggested we just change the clock once, half an hour, and we leave it there. There you go. You're right in between. Everybody's happy.
Isn't that what they were trying to do?
They were trying to
pass a bill or something.
They were trying to stay right where it was. Yeah. I said, change it by half an hour. We're all good.
Yep. Ron's in the house. How's it going? Doing good.
Nice. So we're going to go a little off topic for a moment here. So it's been a while since we saw Random Neighborhood Kid. What are you up to?
Just working full time as an electrician.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. I think last time I was on the show, I believe I was in school.
You were
at the
school,
time.
Yes.
I was in school to become an electrician, but
wow.
Yeah, finally.
So all of the training that I gave you as an engineer on our channel is paying off.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Very good. I'm proud of you. Very, very good job. Very, very good job. You we're gonna go off in a random in a random story of the week. Just a quick short one over here. You had a bit of a mishap today at work.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh, we're getting into this already.
Well, why don't you tell it?
Well,
tease it.
I was using a drill. It was a big drill. It's used to drill into studs, and basically, I had a nail.
Oh,
I had a nail, and
well, how many boards thick was it? What you were?
It was right next to a door frame, and there was about 5 studs right next to each other. I don't know why there were so many studs. I'm not a framer, and I don't know anything about architecture, so I don't know why it was there. But I had to drill because I had to connect some outlets in the circuit, and there was a nail inside, and the whole thing just went like this, and my wrist has been hurting me. So
You're lucky something worse didn't happen off of that. That could have been real bad.
It's all right.
Wow.
A few painkillers in the morning.
There you go.
I'll be good to go.
There you go.
A few more than recommended. We'll be good.
A couple of other people have come on.
All right. Jeff Norton, speaking of hangovers, what was tonight's shot?
Oh, that's a good point, Jeff. We are totally throwing off our thing. It was Clase Azul tequila for me. And I believe you had another grape knee-high.
Yeah.
You still don't know what grape knee-high is, but I just keep putting shots of grape stuff out
Sparkling juice or something.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Hey, you're moving back and forth a lot. It's kind of getting out of focus there for a minute.
Oh, stop moving. All right.
Yeah.
Trying to say
really good. I'm sure the ancestors pronounced it good enough. Some random neighborhood kid is right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in his age group, us old timers, good enough.
Good enough. That's good. Michelle's in the house.
Oh, Michelle, definitely. I'm going to show for a moment here. You definitely want to check out my Whatnot auction next Tuesday. I've got at least one. I think I may have 2 ticket things in there. I put them up figuring that you'd like the tickets. A couple of neat tickets in there. So check it out. Everybody else can check it out as well. Any buys? I think Mr. Magazine got the thing of potatoes at the trade show. He hasn't really talked very much about any other big buys. I did have a few buys. I'm going to ask you a question, Random Neighborhood Kid.
Okay.
What is an antique?
Antique?
Yes.
Something old that is desirable.
Yeah, it's old. Yeah. So if I told you that on Friday there was a sale of an antique dealer, and you were in my shoes, would you be kind of excited about it? Yeah, exactly. So I actually took some time off of work on Friday because the day didn't go very well for me as far as the day job went. And I headed down half an hour away, down to Bloomfield, through Honeoye Falls, down into Bloomfield, half an hour drive. I think you have older stuff than this antique dealer. If 90% of this estate was stuff that was made after you were born, I don't think it's an antique.
Really?
I really don't think so. I found one item that I'll bring up for the item of the week, and otherwise it was an absolutely wasted drive. Now, I understand why the estate sale company is going to say that. Who are they going to get more people to come down on? Hey, we got a bunch of junk that some guy peddles at the antique mall or an antique dealer's stuff.
Right, yeah.
So they suckered me into taking a nice half an hour drive. And again, I wasn't upset because I did find one item, but it was not at all what I thought it was on that there. Couple of other quick little things over there. I picked up some comics at a estate sale for $2 each and sold one overnight for basically what I paid for all of them. So that's a positive. You got to do things like that, Random Neighborhood. You got to move things quickly like that.
Yeah.
I don't move too many things quickly, but that was kind of fun. Looks like a couple other people have shown up.
Yep. Joe Losi in the house. New talent on the show. Yeah.
You know Joe.
No, I do.
Yeah, you know Joe.
I wouldn't say talent. I don't know too much. Nova Crow's Nest. Welcome.
Welcome in. That antique dealer thing too. Somebody this is a crazy thing as well. You've gone to estate sales with me in the past.
Yeah.
And you've seen where they have lines at the estate sale and everything. And we've gone before where we've gone an hour or two after it opens, even on the second day, and there's still a line.
Yeah.
So I went to this estate sale, giant antique dealer. I overheard one of the other customers talking that there had been 60 people in line, that they were a contractor who was working a couple of doors down. There were 60 people in line, so they didn't want to wait in line. They just came by later in the day, obviously. Mm-hmm. This was the first day of the sale. 60 people showed up. I got to the sale an hour and a half after it opened, and it wasn't some mansion. It wasn't some gigantic house. It was kind of a small house.
Yeah.
I walked right in. So what does that tell you?
What?
That tells you that they didn't have good stuff there, because one of these really packed loaded houses, I would have been 15th in line waiting to get in still. Okay. Yeah. So all those people came there, waited in line, got in, and just went through the house and said, what is this? And left.
Yeah.
And they made it be a 3-day sale also. So I'm sure there were a lot of upset people on that sale. It happens though. A couple other quick things on the sales. One item on Million Dollar Peddlers, one item on Viv-Views, and one item on Etsy. No, 3 items on Etsy. I got to learn how to count. 1, 2, 3. 3 items on Etsy. So not bad at all on that. Couple of other things. Oh, you actually went with me to an estate sale, 2 estate sales last Saturday. Or maybe it was a week and a half ago Saturday. One was a bunch of tools that you were thinking about buying, but you didn't end up buying anything, Random Neighborhood Kid.
Well, I didn't end up buying anything because a lot of the tools that they had were corded, and it was just a lot of tools that the guy had inside of his garage that were meant to stay inside of his garage, like miter saws and stuff that I don't really need. You know, I'm more into like cordless battery stuff.
Yeah, I think you also said that a lot of it was woodworking.
Yeah, woodworking. You hated like a metal, like grinders and stuff.
Nothing
sanders. Yeah, nothing that I really need
at this point.
Yeah, at this point.
And then we went to a sale before that. I got Random Neighborhood Kid to drive. That way I could save my gas money because I only get like 25 miles to the gallon. So I can't spend that kind of money. We went over to a sale that sounded really good on Craigslist, and Random Neighborhood Kid will tell you, we pulled over there. I got out of the car, saw who was running it, and I basically did a super fast sprint through the entire garage and left. It was actually the gentleman from the flea market who will not deal on prices. And I've tried on him before. And hey, how much is this? $5. Geez, can you do any better? No, it's $5. And after about 2 or 3 times of doing that, I'm like, I can't deal with this guy possibly, which makes me laugh because he could be making so much money selling stuff to me regularly. And this is a life lesson, Random Neighborhood Kid. I've got a little change in my pocket going jing-a-ling-a-ling, and I always have a little change in my pocket going jing-a-ling-a-ling. And you sell me something today at a good buy, and I come back next week and you sell me something, and you sell me the next week and the week after, maybe you're making a little less than you want on each sale.
Yeah.
But if you want $10 each week and you get $8 out of me every single week, at the end of the flea market season, you got a couple of $100 in your pocket you didn't have, versus you stand fast on the $10 week 1 and will not move.
Yeah.
You have none of my money at the end of the year.
It needs to keep you around.
Yeah, basically, give me good enough deals that I keep coming back. And this gentleman, like I said, he had the estate sale. I walked in, I walked right back out. It was like, nope, I don't need anything over here because this guy you can't deal with. And we were talking, he had a bunch of records there. Do you remember what was going on with the records?
Yeah, I mean, well, some guy was offering for like 1 record and he refused.
$60, yeah.
Yeah, $60 for 1 record. And he's like, some guy will give me this for everything. And then he just wouldn't sell the one.
Wouldn't sell the 1 record, and his prices seemed kind of high on that alone. And I just kind of laughed and just kind of walked out through. I went with Mrs. Papergoy. We went over to a thrift store because we went to the mall. And I actually saw, which I haven't seen in a long time, I saw, I'm going to say a husband and wife team. It might have been a boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't know. They were definitely together. They were in the book area, and they had their phones, and they were scanning. And they were scanning all the books, each one on each side, and putting the books they wanted in a bag. So at that point, as I've mentioned before, you just leave the sale. You just say, nope. So I just kind of took a quick look at the books, a quick enough look, just, no, I don't see anything. Because why am I going to follow after him? I did jump ahead of the one guy and look and didn't see anything interesting either. But given that he's already scanning everything for value, what are the odds that I'm going to find something?
I mean, you do know the stuff without the QR codes, though.
Right.
Yeah,
yep.
You know that stuff.
Yep. So that would be what I would go for, is stuff without the ISBNs and all that stuff. But I didn't see anything there anyway. It just happened to be at the mall. And then I want to give a shout out to a couple subscribers. I did meet a couple of people, subscribers over at the comic show. I did well enough over there. Talking to a couple of different people about the comic show, the sales were blah. The dollar items were selling and the really good stuff was selling, but the in-between stuff, the stuff that goes for like $5 to $100, just wasn't moving. So what does that tell us about the economy, Random Neighborhood Kid?
It's garbage.
Well, it tells us that people want to buy, which is why the dollar item stuff sells, because you're at the show and you got some money I want to buy something. I'm at the show. I drove all the way here.
Yeah.
So you buy a couple of dollar items that you want to read or you're adding to your collection or something like that. And who's buying the books that are $100,000, $500,000? Who's buying those books? Probably collectors who either have saved up for it or collectors that got money no matter what. So to them, it doesn't really make a big difference one way or the other how the economy's going because they've got money. So it doesn't matter to them. It's the schlubs, the working class schlubs that are out there and they're saying, oh, geez, I'm not going to buy that for $40. I don't really need that. I'll just buy a couple of books. And I went today to the grocery store talking about the greater picture. And what was it? Lettuce, $2.99. So $3 for a head of lettuce. I'm used to buying it for $1.29 and you can get it on sale for $1. And now it's $3. And I know you went food shopping the other day also, Random Neighborhood Kid.
Yeah. What did I buy? I bought a bag of apples, some ham,
some bread,
a 24 pack of water, some bread, and ice cream and some granola bars. And it was like $50.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's absolutely insane. And when I went to the store today, again, $3 for lettuce, I said, I don't need any fiber.
That would have been like $5 20 years ago.
Well, I don't know about that, but it wouldn't have been 50. That's for darn sure. Couple of other quick things. Glitch of the week. So I've got 20,000 items up on eBay. When I was doing some search on my items, it kept saying 19,000 plus items up, where it doesn't give you the exact number, but it kept saying 19,000 items up, which somewhere in translation, I lost 1,000 items, which is a lot of items to be losing. So I don't know if I don't know what happened to them. I went back on this morning and I was back up to 20,000 plus. So I'm going to count that up as a glitch. Whether eBay was hiding my listings or what exactly they were doing, I'm not really sure. But 1,000 items is a lot of items to lose, and I certainly did. I would have noticed selling 1,000 items. I think I would have noticed that, and that did not happen. And then eBay France kicked off a magazine that I had that was a heavy metal, not heavy metal the title, but heavy metal as in the music. I hate school, stuff like that.
Okay.
Heavy metal kind of song music. Apparently they said it was adult. So all I can think of is one of the band's names must have translated into something in French. That kind of scares you though, when you end up seeing these things getting kicked off, because you're like, I don't know. I don't know what the translation is. I don't speak French. I know that in America, it's perfectly fine to list what I just listed. Looks like a couple of comments down there.
Nova asked if that organic lettuce was picked at midnight during an eclipse.
No, that'll be hitting the store next week, and that'll be $12. Yeah, it was $3. I just again, we're not a lettuce show. That's not the big thing we talk about. Although I'm willing to do it. But that was kind of crazy over there. Another interesting thing, and I guess this isn't a glitch. I guess this is designed that way. Over at the thrift store, I picked up a couple of records, and I went to list them, and you have to put in a UPC, which is the little barcode on the back. Well, it doesn't have one. They are 1970s local records of bands, like school marching band, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And these records were made by some... They don't know. Basically, the entire back of the sleeve or the back of the record is white. The back of the sleeve is white. No frills. You paid $3 a record and they pressed 200 records for you, whatever it happened to be. Well, obviously, there's not a UPC on it. They weren't meant to be sold in stores. They were meant to be sold to people in school. Yeah. And so I had to Google how to get it listed because it wouldn't let me leave it blank.
Like a zero?
I tried that. You have to type "does not apply." And it doesn't give you the option it does not apply. You actually have to type does not apply. Now, thank goodness that you've got the internet search and everything. So I was able to search on that to figure out how to do it. But that's a little tip for you. If you're listing things in the record area that don't have UPC, type out does not apply. It'll list for you. Mm-hmm. Kind of crazy to do that, though. Kind of crazy.
Mr. Hot Wiz says his eggs at Publix yesterday were $5.79 for a dozen.
I know I went to Walgreens and it was $7 for a dozen. Now, granted, most people don't go to Walgreens to buy eggs, But I happened to be there. I just was pricing them out because I happened to be there, and they were $7 for a dozen eggs. That's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Then I use Sellbrite, and I was right in the middle of listing. Now, Sellbrite is something that I use to put my items onto Amazon and also put them onto papergoy.com, the website. Check it out.
Does it both at the same time?
More or less. You put them on one and then you move it to the other, but then it syncs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I got a thing on there right in the middle of listing. We'll be back shortly. Sorry, we're temporarily offline while we add more magic to Sellbrite.
Oh.
I don't need magic. I need it to work. So
yeah.
So they were adding magic to Sellbrite. So that's kind of exciting.
Is that a paid service?
Yeah, of course.
Paid service. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very expensive paid service. It's a lot of eggs and lettuce. Very expensive. Yeah. And I was over at Mr. Magazine's on Monday, and I was canceling orders for them. And there was a glitch over there with canceling the orders. It kept saying that cancellation already exists. So the software wasn't catching up. So you would put a cancellation in and you would refresh, and it wasn't updating immediately, but it wouldn't let you do anything on it. So you're a programmer.
I'm not a programmer.
Oh, well, you're an electrician. That's close enough.
Yeah. Lee Hayes one's in the house.
So, yeah. So that was another little problem over there. And then this one I tied in as a glitch and a site change. And I want to know in the feed if anybody else has had any luck with this. So eBay changed how things look in the Seller Hub, where it tells you how much money is in your payout account. And it tells you have $3.80 to spend on the site, which is great. So I clicked on it and it says, please sign up, enroll, and you'll be able to spend the money. So I clicked enroll, and I had the same problem that I had last time. It gives you the, sends you your phone number. What do you call that? The 6-digit,
two-factor authentication.
That would be it.
Yeah.
So it sent me whatever the digits are, and I typed the digits in, and I clicked to put it through, and it said eBay, whatever it is, refused to connect. And I'm thinking that's probably a glitch of some kind. So I wonder if anybody else at this point has had any luck signing up for that. If you are able at this point to spend your money that you have sitting there in the payouts, and what shows up when you try to pay, because again, my money's not good there. Is really what it comes down to. It just will not accept me. I've tried multiple times. I've tried a couple of different, how a lot of times websites have a couple of different links, multiple ways to get to something.
Right.
I've tried a couple of different ways to get to it, get the same error every time. So yeah. I wonder if anybody else has been able to spend their money in their account, or if you have to do the download it to your bank account, move it to PayPal, then buy the things that way, which is just a lot of extra work. So let me know in the feed if anybody else has had any luck on that.
Pudding's just wondering what money you're talking about.
The $3.80 that I got sitting in there. We'll see over here. 430 currently. We have not enrolled yet. Give it a try, because obviously there's no no obligation to spend the money. Let me know and report back to us next week if it works or not, because again, it was not working for me. It prevents me from spending, so I just deposit it. Well, that too. And if you are going to spend, come on over to papergoy.com. We're going to head on in. Let us know over there if anybody else happened to have any luck signing up for that. So we're going to head on into somebody else there. Yeah. Just kind of, I heard today that once you sign up, you have to close your eBay account to close it. Huh. Oh, no idea at all on that. I wouldn't know. They're not letting me sign up. So that's, who knows what they're doing over there. I've done it, but it was probably 4 weeks ago. It worked like the quarterly free coupon. Okay, down below, and then you could fill it in. Okay. I'm going to check that. I'm wondering, maybe I am signed up for it without even knowing that I am. So what I'll do is next time I purchase something, I will go scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. That would be the most eBay thing that I'm enrolled. They won't tell me that I'm enrolled. That would be the most eBay thing. So yeah, I definitely will give that a try, and I will report back next week. I'll have to find something to buy. Gonna head on into item of the week, which was a nice segment that Loco Mike, he wants to be called Loco Mike, came up with. I'm going to ask you a question, Random Neighborhood Kid.
Yep.
What is a hippie?
Oh, Lord. A hippie?
A hippie.
Well, like an actual definition or like a stereotype?
A stereotype's fine.
Probably someone from like what 80s, 90s who used to smoke weed and like grew up and now here they are.
60s, but okay.
Oh, 60s? Oh, yeah, whatever. Same era. Yeah.
That's a very hippie,
well, I feel like
attitude.
They're into nature. They believe in what, like grounding with nature, trees, grass, green, smoke green.
There you go.
Everything green. Everything green is a hippie. So
okay.
Yeah.
All righty. So the one positive item or good item that I found at the estate sale show that I want to show you guys, and Random Neighborhood Kid can read this afterwards to learn how to be a hippie. The Hippie's Handbook, because of course, every real hippie reads the book before he becomes a hippie. This obviously was something or other that was put out for squares like me to read about, because I mean, even here on the back, part 1, tuning in, A is for amphetamine. Who's Who of the Underground, the Mellow Yellow Cookbook, Psychedelic Phone Book, How to Live on Love, Hip Fashion Guide, How to Cope with the Fuzz. And I asked Random Neighborhood Kid earlier what the fuzz was, and he had no idea whatsoever. So it's the cops. Okay. Great little pictures in here of the hippies, that kind of thing. This was $1 at the estate sale. I can find no sold comps. I can find one on Abe Books that's about $120. And then there's somebody over on Amazon with the crazy prices they ask on Amazon, $530. I'm going to be listing this up on eBay, probably about $100. I think it's probably worth about $100 to $150. But anytime you can find something like this, I know I've brought up on the show before the Preppy Handbook. That's another thing. What's a Preppy?
The complete opposite.
Well, okay, good answer.
Right. Cool.
Well, when were the Preppies out, Random Neighborhood Kid?
When were the Preppies out?
Yeah, when was Preppy?
I mean, Preppy's out now, is it not?
1980s, exactly. Alex P. Keaton from Family Ties, Preppy.
What does that mean? Isn't that just like being like completely sober, having money? Isn't that Preppy?
Well, you wear the almost like
collared shirt and beige collared shirt and undone tie.
Coca-Cola undone tie. Anyway, let's move on. The Preppy's Handbook does sell all the time, though. That's about a $20 to $25 item. But again, this just kind of caught my eye. And the other interesting thing was, and the other reason why I took a second look at this, I would have bought it anyway, was somebody had pulled it off the shelf and stuck it on top of the books. And when you go to an estate sale, always look at what other people have pulled out, because somebody took it off the shelf long enough to look at it and they thought that it was good. And I found a lot of treasures that way, that you think it might be good, and then for whatever reason you decide not to buy it, but it at least caught another dealer's attention. And I always look at those things, take a quick look at those. So anytime you're at a sale and you see books laying on top of the bookcase of books, that kind of stuff, always pull that stuff out first and look at it, because somebody else took the chance on it, and you may know more than they do about it, but they took the time to actually look at it. Got a couple other comments over there, Random Neighborhood Kid.
All right. Lee Hay says 21 states have legalized weed.
There we go.
How do you feel about that?
We're not a political show.
Okay, next. There we go. All right. Jeff Norton said, I'm a hippie minus the weed and other drugs.
There you go. All right. Well, you could buy this handbook off me if the price is right, Jeff. Until you tell me no money. Pill bottoms. There we go.
Jeff Norton says, save an alligator, eat a Preppy.
That was another one of the
Lacoste, right?
There you go. You know more than me with the brand. I just know the alligator.
Well, that's just what I figured, because they're pretty expensive. Jim Lloyd said Random Neighborhood has truck sensitive. All right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is not very nice.
Never fighting words. A couple of other quick things that we're going to head on into the insulting offer of the week. I had a couple of different people offer me less than what it would cost for me to ship the item out to them, which is insulting enough. But Mr. Magazine definitely took the cake this week and ate it. That's a whole nother story. He took the cake this week. The Astros trophy that you've seen when we went on Random Neighborhood Kid, when we went on Primetime Treasure Hunter show, we brought that over. He's also showed it in a bolo because it sold, but it never got paid for. He still got it up. Do you know who won the World Series last week and a half ago? Last week, I guess it would be.
Astros.
The Astros. So he's got a trophy from an Astros World Series from one of the players, a replica trophy that was bought, whatever, by one of the players.
Oh, it was a replica?
Well, yeah, it's not the original trophy. Yeah, we broke into the Oiler or the Astros thing and stole it. He won $6,300 on it. He got an offer of $200. That would be why it's the insulting offer of the week. Mr. Magazine quickly forwarded that to me and said, ban this guy. So even Random Neighborhood Kid loves that offer. So thank you to whoever made it. You made the show.
Maybe he only had $200.
That might
then
be.
You can't ban him. You know?
Well, we'll send him one of the flags off the trophy.
There you go. Skeptic said someone set the hippie handbook down on the books because it didn't have a barcode.
You know something, you YT Skeptic, you may be very right. There is no barcode. Wow. Good point. Very good point on that. 80 sealed album listed for 100. Someone offered me $12. Ooh, 12%. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. You know, because I don't know what album it was, but back in the 80s, what do you think a record album cost back in the 80s?
$8.
Yeah, you're actually pretty close. Yeah. So, depending on when in the 80s it was, but $6, $8. I was buying stuff in the 80s. Yeah, $8, $10, sometimes even up to $12 for an album. $8 in the 80s, $12 now. You actually would lose money selling it for $12 now if you bought it and held on to it for whatever that is.
Yeah.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. A couple of other things over there. Customer issues. So I had a guy put in a return on a magazine because it wasn't the magazine that I wanted. Now, he never asked me any questions, never contacted me. He's got 900 positives. Now I'm out the cost of return on it, of course. And I took a lowball offer on it because it had been listed since, I think, 2014, something like that. It had been listed like 8 years. And he made me a low offer on it. But I said, yeah, I'm happy to have the thing go. He gets it. Oh, it's not the magazine I wanted. He's sending it back. So hate to do it, but I got to ban somebody like that because I'm losing the money on it as far as I got to pay the shipping, take my time to find it, take my time to pack it, take my time to send it out. And again, if he contacted me beforehand and said, does this have, whoever in there, who's like a famous old movie or TV star, Random Neighborhood Kid?
I don't know. I don't watch old movies.
Jamie Farr.
Oh.
So it had Jamie Farr in it. That'd be a different story, but I never said it. You don't know. He's Klinger from MASH.
Oh, I'm not. Okay, I do know
the
MASH.
He's the biggest star that we know, Jamie Farr.
Was that the cross-dresser?
That would be the cross-dresser on MASH, Klinger. Yeah.
I like that guy.
There you go. But yeah, so he ended up getting banned because when you get down to it, yeah, you have a right to return the item, but ask some questions before you do, especially on a magazine. I don't know. And for all I know, he got it. It was the magazine he wanted. He made a couple of photocopies. Does your generation say photocopy?
No.
What do you say?
Is that where you scan it?
On a Xerox.
Probably a scan.
You Xerox it, yes. All right. We're going to have some fun with Random Neighborhood Kid for 1 minute over here. Kind of going a little off topic here. You're all going to enjoy this. He may prove me wrong. What is a ditto machine?
A ditto machine?
A ditto machine. And what is the best thing about using a ditto machine?
Is that a copier?
Nice. I'm impressed. Yep.
The best thing about it?
The best thing about using the ditto machine afterwards.
As opposed to what?
You're not from the right generation. Everybody out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. Ditto machine. In fact, I got to use a ditto machine one time, help out in school. You would do this around and make copies, and then you would smell the ink afterwards. The freshly off the ditto machine, you smell that ink. Oh, it was so good smelling.
What, it get you high?
No, it just smelled good.
Oh.
Everybody out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. You watch. It's going to blow
Yeah.
up. Everyone's going to go, I remember I had the Ditto machine. Oh, do you watch Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
Did you see what he said he was doing for Halloween?
Probably giving away money or iPhones or something.
He was giving away money. Do you know how much money he was giving away? And why don't you go trick-or-treating once in a while and I'll go with you?
How much money he gave away in total?
He was giving $10,000 away to people that were trick-or-treating.
Wow.
One kid got upset with him because he wanted candy.
Really?
Now, my idea this year, although I didn't set up, my idea was, and tell me what you think about this, Mr. Magazine, Random Neighborhood Kid. I was going to give out pieces of pizza.
I bet the kids would like that.
Just drop a piece of pizza right into their bag.
Yeah.
A couple of other people have commented down there.
I'd give out eggnog. Just dump it in there.
There
Yeah.
you go. Nice. Nice. You do it, Mr. Magazine.
Farrell also likes to sniff the copier.
There you go.
And Jay likes
that's true too. It did have a warm feeling to it when it first came off there too. I'm impressed he knew what a Ditto machine was though. Nice.
I just figured that doesn't Ditto mean something like copy kind
copy,
of?
yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Where was that Random Neighborhood Kid figuring things out when school was going on? Weird. Auction Professor had a show recently where he was talking about item specifics and how important they are to fill in on there. And then he went and he used an example of somebody that basically had a comic book up and they put in, I'm going to say every, obviously they didn't do every, but let's just say they had a Spider-Man 142. So you can put in the character, superhero team, whatever of it. So you put up a Spider-Man, what are you going to list? What's the character?
Spider-Man?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The person put up X-Men, Fantastic Four, Justice League, Batman, Superman, all these things that did not relate to it. But the reason why was because if you were searching on X-Men, this Spider-Man comic would come up in the search.
Mm-hmm.
That's called keyword spamming. And I would suggest you not do that because I think at some point eBay is going to crack down on that. They cracked down on keyword spamming. I know somebody many, many, many years ago, and you'll appreciate this one. You know what keyword spamming is, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What they did years ago was they wrote all these keywords up and then they changed the color so that you couldn't see it in the description box. So it was like a white description box and white words there. But if you searched on it, those words, they would show up in the search because the computer knew they were there, but nobody else knew they were there. He ended up getting in trouble from eBay and was told that's keyword spamming. And we're going to, you're going to be in big trouble if you continue to do that. So he stopped doing that. Well, obviously, it's one thing if I'm listing the Spider-Man and I listed as a Batman because the comic before I listed was a Batman and I forgot to change it.
Yeah.
That happens. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
I know that Spider-Man isn't X-Men, Justice League, Fantastic Four, Incredible Hulk. I know it's not 78 different titles. So at some point they are going to end up cracking down on that. They have to. It's actually kind of rendered the search kind of pointless a lot of times because I have done searches before. I was searching for a specific comic book and people had forgotten to change the comic issue number or the title. And I'm getting things that are way outside of anything that I possibly want. And I said, this is pointless. This is worthless. And it's, are you familiar with the expression garbage in, garbage out?
Nope.
Nice. That means that your results are only as good as what you feed into the system. So my search results are only as good as what people fill in the item specifics. Well, if somebody fills in the wrong number, the wrong number is going to come out on the search, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's called garbage in, garbage out. We got a couple of other comments over there. Random Neighborhood Kid.
Jim is reminiscing the smell.
See? You don't know. You kids don't know what you're missing.
What does it smell like?
I can't explain it. You just got to be there, right? Am I right? You just got to be there. It was like the new ink smell.
New ink smell?
It's what passed for fun in the 1970s.
Is that like the new Little Tree? No ink smell?
New ink smell. Don't Steal. That's the name of my new band. in model kit 22 got offered 16, it covered 18, it declined. 1 hour later, it sold for 22. I think it does. I think that it's on the algorithm's radar. Basically, the algorithm's aware of it. It's got some action on it, so it gets picked up and it's going to be shown to other people because somebody was interested in it. So yeah, I do believe that does happen that way. I definitely do.
It was a chemical smell.
There you go.
Well, I mean, was it like smelling gasoline? Because
no, it was a positive smell. We're all rooming. Nobody goes, oh, let me smell gas.
No, I like smelling gas.
Well, you've got mental problems.
Like today, we were filling up the generator because we were running corded tools, and I just couldn't stop smelling the gas.
Well, I will make an admission right here as well, since we're admitting things. You know what smell I actually enjoy that a lot of people cannot stand?
You don't fart.
Yeah, so we're a family show.
No.
The freshly laid asphalt.
That's bad.
I like that smell.
That's bad.
I like that smell. Maybe when I retire out of this and when I retire out of the day job, 70 weeks, 2 days, maybe I can get on a crew laying asphalt.
Be a paver.
There you go. Hey, do I have the skills to do that? I don't know.
There's not a lot of skill involved.
Couple of other quick things over there. I was listing do you know what a flash book is for tattoo? You know what tattoo flash?
No.
It's when you go into the tattoo parlor,
and they have like a book full of the tattoos. Yeah.
Yeah, that's called flash.
Okay.
I was listing a book with tattoo flash book, and it would not allow me to list it because I did not put an UPC, and it was a required item specific. You know, it says required. I put in the UPC that was in the back. Now, the problem was this book was from Italy. So it's got an Italian UPC ISBN kind of deal, not the American one. I put it in. eBay comes back, says that is not found. You can leave it blank. What does the word required mean, Random Neighborhood Kid?
It means you need it.
Then I get a thing from eBay telling me that I can leave the required blank and not fill it in. Does that make much sense to you, Random Neighborhood Kid?
It does not.
It makes less sense to me, trust me.
John Doe asked, does not apply where?
Yeah, yep, it will. It does work. At least on the records it did, but it allowed me just to leave it totally blank on the tattoo book. It let me leave that blank. So I don't know. We've asked this question before on the show about the countries, why the country order is different. Like America is in some of the drop downs, but not in others. We've asked why sometimes the dates start at 2022 on down. Other times it starts at 1900 on up. Some categories go back to the 1850s. Some do not. Catalogs you cannot list before 19, or you can list them, but you can't fill in the item specific before 1940. It's a mess. It's like you got 15 different programmers and each have their own little section doing it, and they're doing it their own little way instead of there being somebody in charge saying, Random Neighborhood Kid, you do the programming with the years. We want every year from 1600 on up. You got it? Yep. Okay. Everybody else, use that table on your page. I don't know a lot about programming, but that can be done, right? That you have a master table that can be used everywhere rather than you do your table for your little section. I do my table with the same information, but I do it differently for my section. Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
I didn't think so.
Jeff Norton wants me to take a piece of carbon paper, pour some rubbing alcohol on it, and it will smell like it.
Well, I may have some. When I got hired, Jeff, yesterday was my 32nd anniversary working for the state. How do you feel about 32 years working at the same job, Random Neighborhood Kid?
Kind of a loser.
Well, yeah,
No,
that's another story. You can't even fathom 32 years.
No, I cannot.
32 years doing the same job. And when I got started, we were using carbon paper. So that was always fun because you got it on your sleeves sometimes.
Is like the all black paper?
Usually blue, but yeah. And then you put it between two sheets and you write on it.
And then it would copy
the imprint on the bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
And you know how good my handwriting is.
Yeah. Mr. Hotways asks if you ever get that toasty smell of someone's cigarette.
You probably haven't been around cigarettes very much.
Yeah, no, me?
Compared to us, all of us grew up, you could smoke in bars. You could smoke in restaurants. People smoked everywhere when we were growing up.
Yeah, but people smoke. I mean, people still smoke a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, and very, very rarely. I can probably count, because I go into people's houses and things like that for my day job.
Yeah.
I can probably count on two hands the number of people in a year that I go run into who smoke. Nobody really smokes anymore.
Everyone on my job smokes, though.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, but I want to say it's toasty. I say it's more like kind of sweet.
No, that's not a good thing. Just stay away from that stuff. Next. Jim said diddle machines, duplicating fluid, methanol, and isopropanol. There you go. So if you wanna make that great smell at home, that'd be a good perfume. You get that, or you get bacon. Bacon is always a great smell to have too.
It's a new fragrance. Yeah.
A couple of other quick things. Etsy and eBay sales were both lower in the third quarter, so that's probably not a positive thing for any site. And I know Amazon was predicting fourth quarter sales would be lower as well. Those are not positive things. A couple of other comments over there.
John said he used to be able to walk around the mall smoking.
Yeah. And you probably can't even fathom that. We used to. They really started cracking down on things in the 90s. And you would go to a restaurant and they would ask you if you wanted the smoking or the non-smoking section.
Oh, that's cool.
You probably can't even fathom that there was the ability to smoke in a restaurant.
I mean, the only reason you can't now is probably because of
secondhand smoke. Well, no, secondhand smoke.
No, it's probably more fire, right? Because I mean, think about it. Smoke detectors are required everywhere. So, and if people are smoking inside, you wouldn't be able to have smoke detectors inside. So it's got to be a fire thing. I doubt it's secondhand smoke.
No, it's secondhand smoke. Yeah, there was a whole big thing about secondhand smoke.
Since when has they cared about your health? You know, they being the government. Anyway,
wow, going political over here. Wow.
The Hayes asks, "What does Mr. Maggie's flooded basement smell like?"
Oh, that beautiful smell of damp magazines. Oh, that's a good question there. One other quick thing. We'll read the rest of the comments. I just wanted to say one other quick thing. If you buy from Heritage, watch the shipping. They billed me $170 for shipping. That's more than the items. I looked at it. I said, can I request a review of the shipping charges? Oh, yes, certainly. Certainly. That was just a guesstimate. You can do it before you paid, because I paid first, because I always like to get things paid, get paid and out of the way. Oh, yeah, we've reevaluated. It's $41. $170 guess, and it costs $41. Yeah. Sounds like you in geometry class. It's probably this. I had to throw that in. All right, read the other comments, and we'll get into the main subject.
Joyce said certain professions have more acceptance towards smoking, retail and labor, than others. Yeah, I couldn't.
Contracting probably too, from what you're saying.
Yeah,
a lot of contractors smoke. Yeah,
I don't think many auditors smoke.
No, and cigar shops.
Yeah, cigars are cool.
There you go.
I really wish you could still walk around smoking a cigar. It'd be pretty cool. Lori said you could smoke in theaters, the grocery store, the hospital. The hospital.
Oh, who was it that had that up? I saw somewhere online that they were giving new mothers advice in the hospital and how to nurse the babies. Oh, I wish I could remember where I read this at. How to nurse their babies. And one of the rules, or one of their suggestions, was put the cigarette out and then nurse the baby. So don't try to nurse the baby while you're smoking a cigarette, because you probably get ashes dropped on it and stuff like that. So before you're nursing the baby, put your cigarette out. Oh, I wish I could figure out where. I think I saw that on Twitter or something like that. Kind of crazy.
McDonald's had ashtrays too.
Yeah, you're right. You probably can sell those too. Yeah, they did.
In the Happy Meal?
No, not in the Happy Meal.
That'd be cool.
With the other thing too,
it promoted to kids and stuff.
Well, the other thing they had that I think they still do technically sell them, but candy cigarettes.
Really?
No, I guess they don't sell them anymore. Yeah, they were. people would pass those off for Halloween. They were candy.
Yeah.
But the packs would look like cigarettes, and the kids would eat it was terrible tasting. It would taste like chalk.
Yeah.
So you have had that.
Yeah, no, I have. I remember in when I was little, I don't know, was elementary school. I used to go to this. There was like a Stop and Shop. They had the little. It was like a little pack too.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It looked just like the cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing like walking around 3rd grade with a thing of candy cigarettes up your sleeve.
Oh yeah.
A couple other comments, and we'll get into the main topic today. We got way off course today.
Yeah, he said amber glass McDonald's ashtrays.
Oh, there you go. The nice bolo. Thank you. Amber glass McDonald's.
Were they branded?
Yeah, they definitely would have had the brand on the bottom. Yeah,
that's cool.
$100. Wow. Thank you very much, Lee. We do appreciate that. If you do see that out of the sale, see, we're entertaining and learning, and I want to thank you.
So said hubby has emphysema. Trucker. Tell smoker to see what it is doing to him. Stupid to smoke. Kissing smoker.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's definitely gone way out of favor. Like I said, in my day job, there are 3 people I can think of that I do work with that still smoke, and they smoke in the office, and it's their office. And I guess technically I could tell them not to do it while I was there, but I'm not the kind of person to do that. I just, I do my job and move on. But there's only 3 people that still smoke that I can think of that I do at my day job.
You can still get candy cigs.
Oh, there you go.
You could blow on the candy cigarette between the paper and look like smoke.
Oh, I never knew that trick.
You know what we used to do in middle school?
Do I want to know?
Yeah, you do. Oh man, what were those candies called? They were like in like little thing like this, and they were like you'd be able to twist it like this. You know what I mean?
Not some kind of a taffy.
No, it was almost like a chalky kind of stuff. Like you'd squish it up and turn to like kind of like a chalky substance. Or something.
God, don't tell you snort.
Oh, Smarties. That's what they were called.
You are just like Mr. Magazine. You're punching me.
No, you'd crush them up, right, until they got into like a really fine powder, and then you'd open one end, and then you'd be able to inhale it, and then you could blow it out like smoke. And then our teachers used to yell at us to stop doing that, but it was really fun. Yeah. And it was sweet when it went in. Like it's not like it was flavorless because like it's still like hitting your throat, all like the powder still hitting your throat. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
This is the future, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of the future, we're going to head on into the main topic, which is selling to Generation Z.
Yeah.
And this is actually interesting. Before we went on the air, we always do a studio show, and I had a bit of a spoiler alert. We had Random Neighborhood Kids sitting on a bolo video. So Random Neighborhood Kid and I did a bolo video. You were absolutely terrible at navigating eBay.
Oh,
you had no idea whatsoever how to use eBay. You didn't know how to look for search. You didn't know how to look for this. You didn't know how to look for that. And that's scary. It really is scary. I understand that various sites, you have to use them to learn and all that kind of thing. But I don't think your generation uses eBay. And we had you on a show a while ago where we talked about how eBay is trash, basically, was what we titled it. Do you know any of your peer group, do they shop on eBay?
No. Well, no, not really. But I do have one buddy who he does vintage clothing.
Okay.
And he sells on eBay.
Okay. So there's at least one, but
I can't think of anyone who would use eBay over anything else.
So where would you use?
Where would I use?
Yes.
Well, personally, me, I use eBay Motors.
Oh, okay. So you do know eBay Motors, that side of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because most of the time it's cheaper than Amazon.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So, and how did you find out about eBay Motors?
Well, I just figured that things would be cheaper on eBay.
Okay.
So I looked at eBay. And
so their millions of dollars of advertising that they spent on eBay Motors did not drag you over there. You just kind of said, "Well, I know that."
Well, yeah, no, I do know that they have a eBay Motors has like sponsorships.
Okay.
They sponsor like YouTube channels and stuff.
Okay.
And stuff. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So you've watched YouTube channels about vehicles and seen eBay Motors on there.
Yeah.
And so you were aware of. Okay, so that's good to know. It's good to know that at least that.
Like I knew it existed before I ever went to go purchase anything on there.
Now, how many of their radio ads have you heard on terrestrial radio? Okay. That was my thought. You shop on Amazon?
Yeah.
And how do you find the Amazon experience?
Um.
You said it's a little more expensive at times.
Yeah, but I do like the Amazon app. I really do like how simplified the UI is. It's really easy to navigate.
What's a UI?
User interface.
I knew that. I know
Yeah.
a lot of people out there probably don't know that. So I
right.
wanted to, you can't just speak over everybody's head.
Yeah, but I feel like Amazon's really simple. And I don't know about eBay shipping, but Amazon does have, what was it, free shipping over $25?
If you're in Prime, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
They may offer it on other things as well, but
I get it.
Oh,
So
wow.
I don't have Prime. Yeah. I don't have Prime.
It's probably because you're around a neighborhood kid.
Oh, yeah.
Now I know that you've also bought and sold things on things like Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And what are your opinions on that?
It's good place. What is it? Secondhand, get it a lot cheaper than anywhere else.
Now, have you?
eBay,
but you've also had problems on that, haven't you? Where people don't show up and all that kind of stuff, or have you not had that problem?
I haven't had that problem, but I do have the problem where people, don't reply. There's something that I really want, and they don't reply, and then they'll leave their listing up even though it's sold, and then they're like, I don't have it anymore. And it's just like, I don't know. It's really annoying.
So there should be almost like a forced mechanism to take it down, or a sunsetting on the items on Facebook where you put them up and 14 days later you have to renew or they disappear, that kind of deal. Would that help the site some?
Yeah, because it doesn't have that, but Facebook Marketplace does have the feature where you could relist it and then it goes back up to the top. You know what I mean? But
right. All right.
Yeah.
But if you're on page, and I don't know how it works, but if you're on page 174, you're finding stuff from 4 years ago that nobody ever bothered to take down.
No, the listing will never delete. I don't believe.
You have to manually delete it because you get sick of people calling you about it. Okay.
Yeah.
And how about your friends? Are they kind of the same way and where they shop at?
I mean, I guess. I think it's just really between Amazon for stuff that you want to spend more money on, or stuff that you need to buy brand new. But if you need to get something cheaper, or you don't mind if it's used, in Facebook Marketplace is the way to go. I mean, for used stuff, no one really considers eBay. So.
And I know you have gone regularly. You go to the thrifts to buy things. Now a lot of that is stuff for your own personal use, not for resale. Do your friends go to the thrifts? Do they enjoy the thrifts or no?
I mean, like I said, I have my one buddy who does vintage clothing, and he goes to the what's that Goodwill called where it's got like the buckets?
The bins?
Yeah, the bins. It's like super bare bones. It's just bins, and like there's absolutely no sorting when it comes to the clothing. They're just all dumped in bins.
Now, have you gone with him to that?
No, well, I've gone with my girlfriend there, but because we were just bored, and we drove past it, and it's like this huge warehouse, and it's like this the very back of the warehouse, and I was just really curious.
Now, how was it?
It was terrible.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, you're not a fan of the bins.
Well, no, because there's just too many people there. Well, way too many people, and it's like they're heathens. They're just ripping everything apart. It's not an enjoyable experience at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how about a couple of other quick things? Now, I took you last year to an antique show over at the college. St. John Fisher, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
We went over to the college, and you mentioned that when you moved out, you would be decorating at some point with some older antiques because you do like antiques. Now, if it came time for that, where would you get those from?
Antiques?
Yeah.
For cheap.
Well,
most definitely.
obviously.
Well, I definitely have to get it for cheap. You probably have to go to like.
Would you think of eBay? Let me ask you that.
No, because people on eBay know what they have. You know, if they know something's antique, they're gonna let people know it's antique, and they're gonna price it accordingly. So I think the best place to find something antique would be at like an estate sale or yard sale where people don't know what they have. You know,
or they just want to move it. They may know,
yeah,
but they
or
just
yeah,
want to
just
move it.
trying to move it.
Move
But
it out.
if you have the time to list on eBay, then you know you're not gonna give it away.
Right.
You know, so.
And I think the other thing too with that is dependent upon what kind of thing, because you did point out a few things to me there that you liked, and some of them were on the larger size. You got to add in the shipping.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's $100 over on eBay, plus $40 shipping versus you pay $125 for it locally and you carry it to your car. And you also have it in front of you in your hands, you're looking at it and all that kind of stuff. You see, you know, will this work versus you're trying to look at a picture. Sometimes the pictures don't look, you don't get the same feel off of pictures. You do seeing it in front of you.
Yeah. On
that kind of stuff as well. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see what the feed is said over here. And feel free to ask. We have somebody from Gen Z right here in the studio with us in captivity.
Susan says she buys cheap and sells it to his age group for great profits on
other sites. Okay. That's a good idea. It's a very good idea. Okay, there you go. See?
Like what other sites? Like Shopify or something?
I don't. You have to ask Susan. I'm not Susan.
Susan, what other sites are you talking about? Do I have any basement issues? Not yet, because I haven't moved out yet. So, and
are you looking forward to basement issues?
Oh, am I looking forward to them? No, not at all. I mean, if I get an apartment, the basement issues won't be my problem. So
good point. Good point.
John Doe said you taught this kid well.
Yeah. We try.
It's a secret.
All right. Understood. You had to ask. A couple other comments up over there. So, but I guess what we're learning over here is this doesn't necessarily free shipping over 25 for item. Oh, okay. That Amazon ships. Okay. So you're buying directly from Amazon or from them. Okay. It's kind of interesting though, like I said, because so many of us rely on eBay as our main one. I'm going to throw another site out to you. Just your thoughts, if it's even on your radar, anything at all about that. Etsy. Okay, that's all we needed to know about Etsy. So you don't shop on Etsy regularly?
No. Well, I feel like Etsy's not like a.
It's not more of a crafty thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was how it originally was branded, but now I do sell stuff on Etsy as well over there.
It's like Pinterest.
I guess you can sell stuff on Pinterest. Etsy's more of an e-commerce site, whereas Pinterest, I guess you can sell stuff on, but that's more of the you can look at the pictures of stuff kind of deal than that. Any other little sites that you shop on other than like maybe some super specialty site for like your car or something like that? But any other more general sites that you or your generation purchases on that you're aware of? Nothing's coming to mind?
No, not really. I mean, I do like there's a lot of promotion for products that I see on like TikTok or social media that I'll go on and buy on like Amazon or something.
Okay.
So, but other than that, no.
So those promotions do work on that.
Yeah.
Okay. How about so you said you do use the Facebook Marketplace though.
Yeah.
I'm going to head on into, and I know we mentioned this before in the haul video, that today's rambling story of the week is going to be a short one, but it's going to kind of tie into what we were talking about over here, the generations. And I know we mentioned this before in the video of the biggest haul we ever had. And if you haven't checked that video out, definitely do so. It was Random Neighborhood Kid, Mighty Greek, Mr. Magazine, and Paperboy flying down to Atlanta. And we were in line at the Rochester airport to purchase some food at Dunkin' Donuts. You know, I needed a cup of coffee, whatever. And Mighty Greek's there. Mr. Magazine's paying for everything as he's footing the bill. We're all standing there. And all of a sudden, Random Neighborhood Kid goes, "Oh, my order's up." And he walks right by us and grabs his order and sits down. And the three of us are looking at each other like, what just happened? And this is where your generation and my generation are completely different. I have never purchased anything on an app.
then you're missing out.
You regularly order things ahead and pick them up using apps, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's not for convenience, even though that's like a little part of it, but they do have like loyalty rewards things through the app where you can get points and then you get free stuff. It's not like a lazy thing or anything.
Do you know why? And I think I'm speaking for a fair number of people out there in the feed. Do you know why I don't use apps?
Because you don't know how to work your phone.
Do you know the other reason why I don't use apps?
Because you don't want to adapt.
The generation that I come from, you had to worry about battery life, and you also had to worry about storage on your phones. And so you downloaded as little as possible, because if you've only got so much memory and you got an app that uses a good chunk of memory that's also running regularly, which I know you can shut them down, whatever, but you've got an app on there, it's draining your battery. It's also taking up a lot of storage. So if you go on my phone right now, I think I have one, maybe two apps I've downloaded. That's it, because my generation just does not use them. And that is a big difference between the generations. And that is why eBay, I believe, is spending so much time working on their phone app, because they're going for you. They're going for your people, your generation that uses the phone all the time to get you comfortable. Now, when you've purchased parts and things like that, were they on the computer or were they on the phone app? Or both. It could be both.
Yeah, no, it's both. I am logged into 2 different accounts on the computer and on the phone. So it's really just like wherever I started looking first. Like if I started looking on the computer first, then I'll finish. I'll order on the computer. But if I start looking on the phone and I have stuff in my car already, I'll order on the phone.
So. You have the eBay app downloaded and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were aware they had an app and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but that is just, I just wanted to bring that up as the rambling story of the week, just because there's such a generation gap on that kind of thing. And that's one reason I think why Auction Professor rails against, or maybe not rails against, but is kind of like, what are they doing all the thing on the phone? What are they doing all the thing on the phone? Because he's a laptop / PC guy. I'm basically a PC guy. I absolutely hate the app. I use it out of necessity if I'm traveling. Otherwise, I want nothing at all to do with it. But I'm opposed to apps in general. I just don't, because the battery and the storage, which I realize those problems have mostly been taken care of nowadays. But it's just a generation. Like, you'll think nothing of going on the app and ordering something and picking it up at Dunkin', like he did right there. You walked right by us and picked your stuff up. Never in a million years would that have even crossed my mind as being a possibility. Yeah. You're the future. You're what people are selling to. You are the way it's going to be. People like me are dinosaurs. It's just the way that it is. So hopefully this has helped you some. There definitely is, just watching the two of us, there definitely is a disconnect between his generation and my generation. That's not a good thing or a bad thing. It simply is. It's what you grew up with. It's what you're used to. It's what you're comfortable with. And I think that one thing that, if I could say something to you to say to your generation, older people, which I would place myself in the older people, it isn't necessarily that we're opposed to technology. It's what we have now works well enough. And why do I want to learn a whole new thing of eBay's app when the desktop works for me? Why do I want to learn? And maybe we put up barriers where we don't want to learn these things, but we look at it, this way works. I know how to do it. It's convenient for me. I don't want to learn all this new stuff. Just what's the end result going to be?
Yeah.
I'm still going to have a glazed donut. So do I want to go through all these steps for the one time every 6 months that I order a glazed donut? Or do I just want to walk up and order a glazed donut?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Basically, oh, wow, well put. A couple of other comments in there, and then we'll bid you all adieu.
Okay, where do we start?
Up at the top.
Lately, I have many zero feedback new buyers. Possible Gen Z, I'm thinking. Well, yeah, definitely.
I hope so. I definitely hope so. That would be good because again, they are the future and they're what the site is going at. Oh, let me ask you one other quick question. I know we're a little long tonight, but what about Whatnot? Is it even on your generation's radar?
Not mine.
Not your radar, or not your generation, not your friends?
Yeah, well, not mine. I haven't talked to any of my friends who have said anything about Whatnot ever.
Okay,
so
because I know
definitely not.
That Post Maloney, he was on there.
Yeah, well, he was probably paid a lot of money to be there as well. So
he was.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts from having watched me sell things on Whatnot? What are your thoughts about Whatnot as far as, I know Mr. Magazine is opposed to it. What are your thoughts on it?
You definitely move stuff fast, and you definitely do well on there, I believe.
Yeah, I do well enough.
It definitely does serve its purpose, just to get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You could see though also where it wouldn't be for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if everything you sell is like $1,000,
it may or may not work. Right.
The average bidder on Whatnot doesn't have that $1,000
to buy on that, right?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing, what I was getting at though, is like, I think you probably could sell on there, but I'm not sure some of your friends necessarily could. You got to be able to just yammer and yap a lot.
Yeah.
You just have to. Because otherwise, like, oh, here's an item, and then there's complete dead silence, and that's not going to go over very well. So you got to kind of hold a conversation and just talk. So I think you could do that, but I don't know how many of your friends necessarily could.
What kind of vintage clothing does your friend look for? Just anything really that has like the vintage look. People want the vintage look.
Now,
like,
when you say say vintage, what era? See, because when I think vintage, I'm thinking something my great grandmother would wear.
Yeah, well, no,
like a shawl. Do you know what a shawl is?
No.
Okay. A shawl is the thing that
definitely
the women would
not
put over.
Not Victorian era.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, it's probably like just like old single stitch clothes, I guess. I mean,
70s and 80s.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, somewhere on there. I mean, people really dig the vintage look. There are people make new clothes that look vintage.
Right, those are 70s and 80s. No shawls. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that vintage Nike is really good. Like there are like certain things you want to
now.
Look
Has
out
he?
For.
Does he do well?
No.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Is it because he can't find the stuff, or is it because he's learning?
He's learning. He's only been doing it for like a few months.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, it's a process. You know, you're not going to do it well right off the gate. So.
Right. Right from Jump Street.
But
my people would say
there are things to look for with vintage. You do have to learn. Like I do know that there's old Nike, like crew necks. If they have like a swoosh in the middle, they're like worth a lot. I don't know.
That's good to know though. But again, but even you're knowing that if you went to a sale with me at some point, you probably would now be looking through the clothes a little bit. Yeah. In worst case scenario, you're like, these I think are good. You send a picture to your buddy and you go, what do you think of these? Oh, pick those up. And then you pay $2 a piece at the sale and you sell them to him for $4 a piece. You doubled your money when you're there anyway.
Yeah.
Or you decide to sell them yourself or, have me sell them or whatever the case happens to be. So there's nothing wrong with that knowledge. You can end up just hanging out with your buddy, talking to him, learn enough because the way I look at it, if you're with me and you're at a sale, odds are your buddy's probably not at that sale.
Yeah.
So better for you to have the stuff than nobody to have it or somebody that we don't know to have it.
Right.
So a couple other quick comments and then we'll
John Doe says so they don't track us.
There you go. Yeah, see, we're kind of tinfoil too. We actually that is very true, John Doe. That is another. My generation has a whole different view of privacy than your generation does. Yeah. We really truly do. So that's a good point.
I don't think ordering from Dunkin' on the app is going to make the difference. So
they're probably tracking us anyway.
Yeah, they're probably tracking you anyway.
A couple other comments right there.
App spying on you, geolocating you, and selling your info to data brokers in the Israeli.
See, there you are. Some more things. We're going to head on down, see what other people are saying there.
Paper going, get off my lawn. Using apps also destroys people interaction. That is true. That is true.
Wow. So one thing we learned today is my generation is a bunch of cranky curmudgeons.
Yeah. I mean, that is true.
It was a fun show tonight. I was afraid it wouldn't go long, and we went actually longer than I thought. I thought we'd be sitting here talking for 15 minutes. So you did very, very well, Random Neighborhood Kid. Big hand to everybody.
Wow.
You did
Standing
a good job.
ovation.
Standing ovation. Everybody home is doing it too. You just can't see them.
Oh, yeah.
If you had downloaded the $1 Million Peddlers app, you'd be able to watch them. But I want to thank everybody
from their home, spy on them.
We'd be spying on them on the $1 Million Peddlers app. Coming soon. I want to thank everybody for coming on out. Though we had a fun time. Hopefully, Mr. Magazine did really well at his. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming next week. Tomorrow over on Whatnot, 4:00, the $5 comic blowout. Tuesday, I've got that up already over on Whatnot for Ephemera. Everything is still just $3. Let me ask you this, Random Neighborhood Kid. You have a choice between 3 brochures from Cristobal, or you have a choice between a thing of lettuce. Now you're seeing. You should come to the Whatnot auction. $3 start there. Next Monday, I will be over at Vintage Syndicate and Ephemera. Check out the auction over there, 4:00 Eastern on that one as well. Want to thank everybody for coming on out. We had a really fun show today, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're supposed to say take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, take care. Bye-bye.